10 burly men walked into the restaurant, but only ordered a plate of shredded potatoes. A bowl of tomato and egg soup looks frugal. This made the waiter secretly dislike her. Even the landlady secretly complained. He planned to earn more money from staple foods by selling steamed buns. But unexpectedly, as soon as the steamed buns were bought, the group of men had already taken out their own pancakes and scallions. Standing with vegetable soup, finished the plate completely. The proprietress was about to step forward and lose her temper, but the waiter quietly pulled her outside. Saw the disaster relief banner hanging on the agricultural tricycle. The two instantly understood that these were disaster relief volunteers heading to Wenchuan. The landlady was filled with guilt upon learning the truth. He immediately cooked 2 large plates of meat and vegetables. Free hospitality, fully supporting these humble men on their disaster relief journey. The proprietors. They thoughtfully brought a case of mineral water, and the group thanked the owner's wife. Driving along, he was soon stopped by the traffic police. Agricultural tricycles violate regulations and carry people into disaster fights. Several people with multiple seats, even carrying an old hen, clearly violated traffic rules. Everyone hurriedly tried to hand over cigarettes and plead, but just as the intersection was closed, trucks ran red lights. The traffic police rushed over to handle the situation, and everyone panicked for a moment. They were afraid their vehicles would be impounded and delay disaster relief. Someone suggested quietly driving away. Everyone quickly drove away from the crowd. He hadn't gone far before being stopped by a close caller on his bike. Facing the harsh criticism from the traffic police, the leading man, he had no choice but to be honest about his purpose. He admitted that he spontaneously rushed to Wenchuan for earthquake relief. Just asked that the vehicle not be impounded. The traffic police saw the hole in the carriage, shovels and simple dry rations. Instantly moved by the teaching of these ordinary farmers, who didn't understand traffic rules, without grand words simply because of the new disaster area, he resolutely set out on the 1,000-mile Chiwon route.
No, you all started this and went up to Sichuan.
Yes. Do you know how far Sichuan is?
No matter how far it is, you have to go. People there need help.
The traffic police were deeply moved and paid out of pocket to offer something new. He even voluntarily took on all the fines for violations, repeatedly reminding everyone that the journey was long. Be sure to pay attention to driving safety. Carrying the warmth of strangers, everyone travels day and night. At mealtime, they gnaw on dry, hard pancakes on the bus, making do with sticky scallions. Some people are working together to bring instant noodles to the disaster area. Afraid of the bumpy journey, they crushed supplies, exhausted from running all the way. Yet no one uttered a single complaint. Yet, the sky is not beautiful. Traveling through the night, he actually forgot to cheer up in the desolate countryside and wild ridges. There is no village in front, no inn behind. A dozen people work together in temperatures over 30 degrees Celsius at noon, pushing heavy farm carts, walking on foot. A wave of drowsiness washed over him. People who can't drive actively take control of the steering wheel. The driver stays briefly in the carriage, resting. Everyone supported each other, gritted their teeth, and persevered. The group finally arrived at the gas station. Everyone was so exhausted, they were gasping for breath, lying on the carriage, unable to utter a word. Fortunately, the relief banner attracted a crowd of staff to watch. Upon hearing of their charitable deed, he immediately waived all fuel costs. Heartfelt respect. This annoying act of kindness.
You all went all this way to fight and help with disasters. So what difference is it to us fueling ourselves?
The kindness of the strangers strengthened the group's determination to rush to the disaster area. It also allowed them to feel the power of Chinese unity, progress, and mutual assistance. As Chinese people, everyone comes from the heart. I felt incredibly proud, no matter how tired or hard the journey was. At that moment, everything vanished like smoke and clouds.
各位汇川!
After filling up the tank, the group seemed to be injected with adrenaline, and the driver forced himself to endure fatigue. He didn't dare slack off the whole time. When hungry, he would take a bite of scallions and pancakes until he choked. Then he poured mineral water in force, because among these 10 people, only by knowing how to drive can you have greater ability. The greater the responsibility. Knowing well that he was the only support for everyone on the road, he had to hold on. After another day and night, they crossed mountains and rivers. It is getting closer and closer to Wenchuan County, but when you reach the highway entrance, a problem arose. According to relevant regulations, agricultural tricycles are strictly prohibited from entering the expressway. Not to mention 7 more people were brought in later. No matter how much they plead, the staff refused to let them go. There is nothing we can do. Zhong Tao had no choice but to ask the Peng to reverse the car. The disaster relief efforts instantly reached a deadlock. Even worse, just as everyone was at a loss, third uncle felt sorry for his agricultural tricycle, so he suggested that instead of wasting it like this, it would be better to go back and prepare supplies in the village. Then handing it over to the government is the same. Third uncle's words drew agreement from the others. It is not that people are afraid of hardship. Instead, this endless exhaustion of running around is truly hopeless.